and they do get uploaded to YouTube, so they become accessible to the public. Okay, everybody, welcome to our West March BOD meeting for January 22nd, 2026 at 6:47 p.m. As you can see, we have our agenda up here on the right. So first we'll have a meeting and call to order. If we could have our current secretary, Ilanthus, handle that, please.
Calling it to order at 6:47.
Perfect. Yeah, and then we have the most important question of the meeting. Is the monarch providing credit? We'll get back to the monarch, I guess.
Sorry, I did not catch that. Yes, credits.
At least I forgot to. Oh, that's close enough. Now you guys know who I am. Perfect. Thank you very much, Monarch. We first need to. Christine, did you get everybody's name already?
I'm working on it right now.
Okay, and we do need real names here, unfortunately, because this is an officially recorded, California thing.
Thomas, what's your last name?
It's Tom Demuth. That's Demuth.
Okay, thank you.
You'll probably need to change my name over to Lilith Moonshadow.
Yeah, we just have to make sure we have the right names recorded in the minutes, just in case the state decides to audit us. They probably won't, but it's better to be safe than sorry.
Alejandro, remind me of your last name again.
Delgado.
Thank you.
All right, mine's updated.
Perfect.
Lilith Moonshadow, there we go. I think I sort of got everybody. Let's double. Okay, let's make sure I didn't miss anybody. Christine Stender, Ethan Kopich, Thomas Demuth, Carl Craig, Benjamin Smith, Leon Starks, Alejandro Delgado, Lilith Moonshadow, and Ginger Conrad. Oh, and Milan. Remind me of your name again.
They posted it in the chat.
Brian Olet posted in chat.
Okay. I'm looking at the participant list, not the chat.
Not a problem. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Well, item number 4, according to this lovely agenda, says, welcome the new board. Welcome, new board. Welcome to a board of directors meeting. They're normally not this hectic. Normally we're a little bit more organized, but just a January thing.
Cinderhill just asked if Athena was coming. Does anybody know?
That's a good point. Okay, that's who we're missing. Can somebody ping them?
I did actually ping them in the BOD chat.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, Facebook killed Messenger on the computer. So I have to open Facebook now to actually message. So thanks, Facebook. Okay. Well, hopefully they are just running a little bit late and they'll be able to join us. Okay. Item number 5, reading of the minutes of the last meeting. So over here on the left, I have the meeting minutes from the last meeting. Figure I can read through them pretty quick here. So we called the meeting to order at 6:47. So hey, we're at least consistent on that. We had the people who listed there as in attendance, and the monarch did provide credit. Then we read the minutes of the last meeting previous to that. If you care about that, go watch last month's video. For the old business, California tax exempt status, it was completed. So we're tax exempt with California. The 501c3 business donation pamphlet, Milan has been working on that, and Zeno was working on a video. And then we pushed the rest of the information to January. General insurance update, average number of players was listed at 350 for $2,291 per year. Activities at a private property are not covered, and then I need to follow up to see if Westmarch needs to require official events to have additional insurance for any activity on private property. This just came out of a question that arose when we were getting the insurance. Unfortunately, I did not get that done because I forgot I had to do that. We skipped additional coverage for activities that we do not normally do anyways. There was just another option we could have gotten, but we decided we don't do those activities, so therefore not worth spending the money on. And then we need to specify which info is loaded on the CIM card as far as like what types of activities are covered. And we still need to do that. Item D was cleaning up the old castle contract with Azus. We've completed that. So Azus, we've officially canceled our contract with Azus because he no longer stores the castle for us. We updated the BOD bylaws. I had a bunch of changes to go through, and then we voted on them, and those bylaws were updated. The bylaws, I'll get into, the bylaws are now on our wiki page, so anybody can go and see them. Yep, we voted on all of those. Seller's permit for the kingdom and how to get it. Past update, Royce was still working on the next code to use for us. And then, could we get food for this? Leon and Royce to work with, Walrus, who was the new monarch, to further this project. I believe Royce did figure out which AICS code we needed. Selling space on the trailer. So this is the idea of potentially allowing people to sponsor the Westmarch trailer, and we'd give them a foot or a few inches or whatever to put a logo or a banner on it. Walrus Alejandro wants to continue the project, but it was pushed to January for details. Fidelity Charity. So we have now been set up with Fidelity. So we can, as an organization, so now people whose work, or if you want to do it independently, you can now go through Fidelity and send charitable donations through Fidelity. They handle the paperwork. They provide, the relevant 1099s and everything like that. It's really helpful. There's kind of two different ways to do it. We should be set up in both methodologies. And I sent a test payment and it went through and it all worked up. And then the question was, we should write up something to better document how to do this for other people. FOG after action report. So Leon shared an abbreviated report. They were going to write a more complete report to cover in the January meeting. The BOD to determine the process for donations from vendors. So we have receipts for write-off. No other new information about how to do this right now. New business that to follow was reminder that the current BOD needs to attend the January meeting. Hey, you guys are here because we need to approve the new BOD, which we'll do in a minute, and then we scheduled today's meeting. Oh, perfect. Anybody have any questions on previous minutes?
Because we are California and we support all of California, can you reread the minutes in Spanish?
No habla español.
Stop it.
What I would recommend is when you're watching this on YouTube, go to the auto caption, and some lovely AI will be underpaid to do it for you. Okay. Now there's 5A, now that we've read the meeting minutes of the last meeting. Does the outgoing board have anything they would like to tell the incoming board, or does the incoming board have any questions for the outgoing board? Obviously, these people will still be available if you can't think of anything right now.
Good luck, guys.
Okay. It looks like we're all good here. I'm not hearing any voices. So let's go into item number 6, which is the real reason Ginger is here. Vote to accept the new board members. So current board members, we have been proposed 5 board members from our board election committee. So board, as per our bylaws, the Westmarch Prime Minister and the Westmarch Monarch go out and hold an election for new board members and then provide those names of those board members to us to officially approve. Walrus, Alex or Leon, do you have those board members' names for us?
I do. Give me 1 second to find them.
Perfect. If you want, I have the list here.
I have it. I just
Okay.
found it. It is Thomas the Bold, Sebastian, Athena Mononymous, Atlantis Finvara, Skia Seraphine,
Yeah, those are the 5, and then
Talon, the
Talon is
Discerning
the
Candyman,
backup.
6.
Perfect. Okay, so current board members, do you approve those 5 board members in that order for the new board? If you say yes, then you can retire.
I. Oh wait, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Atlantis, as the secretary, did you want to do that as a more official roll call vote, or do you just have you fine with everybody just saying aye?
I'm fine with whatever you're fine with. If everybody just, I'm good with that.
Okay. Did anybody vote? Is anybody voting no or abstain? Atlantis or Athena's voting abstain because, well, they're not present. But other than that, I believe that makes it this. And Walrus and Leon, you also get votes.
Sure, why not?
Okay, so every
Yes.
So 6 yeses, 1 non-present.
okay.
Okay. With that, old board members, you can go. So thank you for the old board members. You've done a lot of work over the last year. We've got insurances updated, just which was like a really big thing for us, which is super helpful. We've managed to keep the kingdom running for yet another year, nothing burned down. That's basically all we can really ask for. So
Good luck,
thank you
you
all very
guys.
much for your time.
Hey, good luck.
Peace out, nerds.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
All members.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, new members. And remaining members. We now have the first thing we need to do. There are 5 positions on the board. So just as like a quick recap, the board is consisting of 5 positions: president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, and a liaison position. And then there are 2 ex officio members, which are basically members that are not elected by the normal process, but they still have votes. And those members are the Westmarch Monarch, who is our CEO, and our Westmarch Kingdom Prime Minister, who is our CFO. Those 2 members always exist, and they're pulled in by an additional process. But of those 5 members, we need to decide who is doing what role: president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, and liaison. We get to decide amongst ourselves, basically, in any methodology that happens. My recommendation to make things easy is if we re-elect Athena as the treasurer, then we don't have to update the Westmarch bank account information. And if we re-keep Atlantis as the secretary, then we do not need to refile with the Secretary of State, because the secretary is a reported position we have to keep on file. That is just a suggestion. Otherwise, we have to do a little bit of paperwork.
I'll back that suggestion, mostly because that is a bit of paperwork that.
And keeping you as president, wouldn't there be paperwork with that as well?
Weirdly enough, no.
No.
The CEO, the CFO, and the secretary have to be reported to the state.
What about the bank?
The bank has the treasurer and the CFO.
Oh, okay.
The president is not a reported position. That being said, the president's job is to make sure everybody else does their job, and if they don't, to do it. So the president, everything rolls up to the president to do work. So I will make the same offer I made to the last board. If you want me to be president, I will continue to do the work that I was doing. I will happily continue to do that. If anybody else wants to throw their name in the hat or name in the ring, feel free. We also still need to elect a vice president and a liaison. And if anybody has any questions, I can read out what the roles and responsibilities are for those roles.
I mean, sure, why not? Like, let's be real. I've been in Amtsguard a little over a year for me.
Yeah. So
volunteer for secretary. How's that?
Hey,
perfect.
Being new is not the first time I was on the BOD. I'd been in the kingdom barely over 6 months.
Yep.
Fair.
Yep. Yeah, we are a very welcoming board of director. Okay, so the president shall have the responsibility of the president in general to supervise and conduct all activities and operations of the corporation, subject to control, advice, and consent of the board of directors. They shall keep the board of directors completely informed, shall freely consult with them in any relations of all activities of the corporation or organization, and shall see that all orders or resolutions of the board are carried out. So it's their job to make sure that what the board votes on gets done.
All right, I say Sebastian should be president,
You don't even want to continue with the rest of it?
and I think I should be vice president.
So the vice president, let me finish reading the president. Okay, so the president shall see that all orders and/or resolutions of the board are carried out to the effect intended. The board of directors may place the president under contract of employment if appropriate. The president shall be empowered to act, speak for, or otherwise represent the corporation or organization between meetings of the board. They shall be responsible for hiring and firing of all personnel. We don't have any personnel. And shall be responsible for keeping the board informed of all times of staff performance and implementing any personnel policies. We don't have any. It's really easy for that section. The president at all times is authorized to contract and account for all funds, or sorry, to account for all funds of the organization, to execute in the name of the corporation all contracts and other documents authorized either generally or specifically by the board executed by the corporation, and to negotiate any and all material business transactions of the corporation. And then it's also the president's responsibility to preside over board meetings and executive committees, which we don't currently have any executive committees. And then they're authorized to operate, in contract for the organization, as we kind of just read. The vice president, in the absence of the president, the vice president has all of those duties. That's what this says. And I just realized I left an extra comma in here. Gosh dang it. I had a beast of a time getting this document updated. It turns out that the embedded font was wrong and it did not want to comply. Okay. We kind of already have gone over the treasurer and secretary, but I can read those if people are interested. So the secretary shall be the custodian of all records and documents of the corporation, which are required to be kept at the principal office of the corporation, and shall act as secretary at all meetings of the board of directors, and shall keep the minutes of all meetings on file in hard copy or electronic format. They shall attend to giving and serving of all notices of the corporation, and shall see that the seal of the corporation, if any, is affixed to all documents, the execution of which on behalf of the corporation under the seal is duly authorized in accordance with the provision of bylaws. So basically, they make sure that we keep all of our documents in order and that we have copies of them. The treasurer shall be responsible for the treasurer to work with the CFO, in this case, the Kingdom Prime Minister, to keep and maintain or cause to be kept and maintained adequate and accurate accounts of all properties, all business transactions of the corporation, including accounting of assets, liabilities, receipts, disbursements, gains, losses, capital, retained earnings, and other matters customary intended in financial statements. They shall be responsible for ensuring the deposit of or cause to be deposited all monies and other valuables as designated by the board of directors. Furthermore, they shall work with the CFO to, wow, that space got messed up, to disperse or cause to be dispersed the funds of the corporate/organization as ordered by the board of directors, and to render to the CEO, CFO, president, and other directors, whenever it is requested, an account of all treasury transactions. There's also a paragraph on here, I'll just kind of summarize, which says, we as the board retain the option to place the treasurer under bond. It's basically a type of insurance that says that if the treasurer fails to do their job properly, we can go get insurance money. The insurance is about 1% of the bond. So if we get $1 million bond, we have to go spend like $100,000 or whatever to get that insured, or $10,000. We have to go spend a bunch of money. We don't typically do this. We don't make enough money for this to be relevant, but it is an option available to the board. The liaison, the board of directors shall elect from their number a liaison officer who shall be responsible for contact with all outside agencies. The liaison officer shall maintain a mailing and phone list of all agencies the kingdom deals with. The liaison shall maintain copies of all contracts between the board of directors and any outside agencies or subsidiary chapters. So the current only one I'm really aware of as far as contracts to the outside agency is the trailer storage contract, which we have with Ginger. And we have obviously all of the individual contracts for the lands. That's the subsidiary contract for the chapters, which we do keep up to date. But the liaison is responsible for making sure that those items are up to date in an essential repository. So those are an overview of the responsibilities of the different roles. Are there any questions? Do people have a desire to throw their name in for any of these items?
I mean, honestly, I can guarantee I have a spot to keep documents, so doing like liaison would not be super hard. I could keep this document storage easily. Yeah,
we do have a online digital form, like a digital drop through the Kingdom of Westmarch. We have a Google Drive, and one of the folders in the Google Drive is specifically to the board of directors, and we can make sure we get that shared with you. That's how we keep our electronic copies update.
Yeah, I'm more meaning like it'd be all the electronic copies, and then I'd probably print off a full set of hard copies to keep stored here just in case.
Okay. So,
That I'd obviously hand off to when my term is up.
okay.
But it'd be nice to just have a solid copy set as well, I think.
Sounds good. So far, what we've had declared, I've declared for president. I've not heard any other names. If you want to, please speak up. Vice President, Thomas declared. The treasurer, we're kind of assuming Athena because they're currently the treasurer. We're hoping that they'll maintain that. Secretary is Ilanthus, Christine Sender, and liaison is Lilith.
Mhm.
Does anybody have any concerns to these positions or wants to throw their name in for a different one?
Nope, I like it.
Perfect. Does anybody have any issues with any of the people in these positions? As in, like, you don't want them in this position, not, you don't like their hair color.
You put everybody's real names except for Atlantis, so it's just kind of sticking out sore.
Yeah, I was writing it down and then I realized I didn't exactly remember how to spell your name, Ilanthus.
All good. I'm
I
also writing it all down, so you don't have
yeah.
to.
These are not the official meeting records. Ilanthus keeps those, or Christine's keeping those. These are just so that way we can, see them and they get posted on the video.
Mhm.
So okay. Uh, should we have just a basic vote? Everybody who is voting yes, say aye.
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 Perfect. Anybody voting no, say no. Perfect. Anybody voting not present, be silent. And if anybody is abstaining, speak up. Okay. So I believe that we have now elected 6-1 with one not present to these positions. Everybody good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, now we get to go into board business. Okay, so welcome, new board of directors. As the president, it's my job to proctor the board of directors, so I will continue reading this agenda as we go through it. Okay, the first item of old business, 501c3 business donation pamphlet. The person who logged in is 123, not it. Okay, looks like Milan has provided us a pamphlet. Give me 1 second to sanitize my desktop. All right, so Milan, you have made this link tree for us.
Well, I made this a while ago, and I will admit that I participated in All You Can Eat December, and so I didn't really focus on any Amp Guard stuff. I make no apologies for that. I was very proud of myself. That
And we
being
will accept no
said,
excuses for that.
well, 1, 2, 3, not it. So I took this week and I made some updates, and I reached out to people throughout the kingdom and in other walks of life. I talked to some friends who were in nonprofit organizations. I talked to some people in the SCA, and I showed them this right here with the 3 different links. I showed them a write up that I made, and the whole goal is to um, be able to reach out to major organizations and request donations, activating our 501c3 so that we can um, kind of recoup costs of previous individuals, definitely not named me, that spent lots of money to do things. And so um, I'm not the best at making documents. I'm really good at other things, but making documents is not one of them. So this is a fun learning experience for me. And I've gotten mountains of feedback. So what you're seeing here is very rough. It's very raw. It's absolutely a mock up. But at the end, what I want is to be able to say, hey, here's a packet. Here is everything that you might need to solicit donations in the name of Westmarch. Now, how individuals choose to use that, of course, is going to be up to the monarchy, is going to be up to the board, it's going to be up to the people that are seeking these donations. But what I want to do is create a pamphlet that is just available for everybody to grab and go. Be like, hey, do you have documentation? We're looking to donate. Yeah, here it is. That PDF is awful. I want you to know that, but it's a basic gist of what I want to do. I'm working with people in graphic design that can actually make things better. It's just not hosted yet. Basically, this is what I want to show. and somebody's going to make it pretty. It's not going to be me. They're going to use smart art and all that stuff. Um, we do have a very hard uh, set of not using AI for any of this. And that's very important because we never want somebody to look at it and go, oh, well, they're using AI. What else is potentially think about them? I'm not knocking AI. I'm not here to make some public statement about that. I'm just saying that I want us to come across as a honest, genuine, real, you know, grassroots organization.
Well, and we do heavily emphasize our arts and science, and so utilizing that, I do think help shows our arts and science capabilities, and and how we encourage that and growth.
Yeah, Zeno, you mentioned Zeno. He is making videos right now. That is a time-consuming project. I'm not giving him a deadline or anything of that nature, but eventually we will have and you may have seen some of Zeno's videos already. Um, Great question, Ben. I don't know if we have an AI policy or not. Um, but he is making a video specifically to go with the packet. So on the link tree, there will be a check out this video to see what we do and what we're all about. But yeah, it's something that is a work in progress, but I'm pretty happy with the progress that has been made this month. And I hope by next month I'll be able to present a finalized package.
Okay, sounds good. I mean, you're not a member of the board of directors, so we obviously appreciate any free time you give us.
I will say as well that people gave some very direct feedback on it, and I asked people to be very, very blunt and bold, and they have. And I want to say very clearly, I greatly appreciate it. Like, if there's something like this is stupid, don't do this. I love that feedback. I really do. Because, like I said, this is kind of a learning thing for me. I haven't built this. I had people that did stuff for me in the past, and I don't have that now. So it's fun to do it myself. So
I'm
anything that
impressed.
you have, what's that?
I'm impressed. That looks professional to me.
You're my boy, Blue. But yeah, it's been really fun. I got a page of feedback, like a whole like Word document page of feedback from a Crown and Flame Night in the SCA, which I was very thrilled about. Um, and yeah, I think that tends into like let's encourage cross gaming and stuff like that. But getting help from outside resources is very valuable.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, we really appreciate it, and everything that you provide us here. So obviously this link tree links to the flyer that we kind of looked over, a donation kind of request form that covers more specifically, items that we can very specifically request as an organization with
That is going to be torn apart, by the way. I've gotten so much feedback of like what's wrong with it. It's going to be fixed.
It obviously links to our say Amcard page, and it links to our YouTube page. Hey, look at it's last month's BOD meeting if you want to go watch it. Um, and then it looks like it also has a link to our email. So, yeah.
And there'll be more tabs. You can definitely choose to use it now if you want to show people things, but it is not Kingdom approved at all.
I was going to ask my next question, which is this link tree, is it associated with the Kingdom email address, or does the IT committee have access to, updating this and maintaining it in the future, or is that planned for down the road?
This is just a mock-up, and it's under my email address, and it can be deleted and remade very easily. Link trees take 30 seconds to make.
Okay. No, that sounds good and reasonable.
It's just putting the links in there, and I will turn all of this over to Westmarch as soon as it's done and approved.
Well, thank you very much.
I think this would be very helpful.
I was thinking the same thing because like was mentioned, it opens up a lot of availability just from just for getting through all the donations as well as the form and the Kingdom like intro stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have anything else we want that any of the board members want to talk about this 501c3 business donation pamphlet and associated documents? No. Okay, journal insurance update. Um, so we got the insurance published. We purchased that last month. It's all great. I do still have this action to follow up just to get some clarity. So basically, for the new members, when we were filling out the insurance paperwork, if you go to their website and there's like a form and you say, the activities you do and don't use, like, do you have a swimming pool? No, we don't have a swimming pool. We don't involve swimming in any way. So no, that kind of helps define what our insurance does. I had a couple of questions, so I had reached out directly to one of the insurance agents, and they asked an additional question that was not on the form, which is, do you host events on private property? And I had said that we don't. We typically our land events are typically out at public parks, and our kingdom events are again at public parks or facilities we rent. We are not having them at private property. But some people have expressed interest in running them at private property, or what would that entail? Previously, having talked to these insurance people, it sounds like it's pretty easy to add or modify. But this just one weird thing kind of fell through the cracks of just, are we officially excluded from private property? Are we not officially excluded? Looking over the actual agreement, it doesn't call out this exclusion. It was just in that email exchange, so I just need to follow up with them to get some clarity on what that means. So that's an action on me. I also participated in as much eating you can do in December, so I did not follow up on this.
Would say like dungeon at like the airsoft arena, would that be a private property?
No, so because the Airsoft Arena is a business that we are contracting with,
Okay.
right? That makes it a public entity.
Okay.
Right. But if we were to like go over to my house and like run a fighter practice, that is private property.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask, what about like if you have an ANS that you host on like the field of your apartment complex? Like the one I live in here in Chico actually has a field just outside my front door, effectively.
Yeah.
That's pretty big, actually. So that was actually going to be something I was gonna ask about if
Yeah.
you hadn't brought up the whole fighter practice at a house or something.
Yeah. So like, and again, it's like my interpretation, and I just need to get clarification, but it's like, I think it comes down to who has the liability for like the field. Like if somebody goes and trips in a gopher hole, but if that happens at the city, like at a public park, we, the organization, aren't liable necessarily. It's the city, right? But if somebody trips in a gopher hole at your place, who would they go after? Would they go after you, or would they go after we, the Kingdom of Westmarch? And I think that's where it's coming down to. But again, I really need to go get the clarification on this of why did they ask that question? Because I could not find it listed as an exclusion in the official document we signed. Um, so I just need to go get that clarification.
Okay.
So I will aim to get more information for this next month and actually remember to do this.
That way you have a rough answer by next meeting, is what you're saying?
Yeah,
Hopefully.
my plan is to get this clarified. I just need to email the guy again and just be like, hey, I noticed blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
And get it clarified.
Perfect.
Yeah. Do I have any more questions here on general insurance update? Yeah, moving along to correction of the BOD bylaws. As you saw, I published the BOD bylaws. I did notice I left in 2 extra commas, so I might go fix that real fast. But we voted on this last month to get these bylaws updated, including the removed commas. So I'll go remove those commas and then get this republished. But the bylaws have been overall have been updated as per how we voted last month. And really, what it was is when Milan was the actually, you weren't even part on the BOD at the time, Milan, right? You were just filing the 501c3 paperwork, so you were the agent of our corporation.
I was voted in as the liaison to the IRS as a special envoy last year.
Yes.
But also, we did pass something where you can make grammar updates without approval.
No, that's the.
Got it.
Did that actually? That doesn't matter. These are the bylaws, not the corpora bylaws have different rules. Though the rules for updating the bylaws are down here in Article 12 about amendment and revisions. But basically, we took the bylaws that Milan got for us. We got these through Nolo Press, I believe. they were, good basic bylaws that we'd submitted with the IRS to, and had them on file with them. But we noticed that they did not properly align with the Kapora in some areas. And so most of the updates we've gone through here were just to better align how we do have things outlined in the Kapora and the bylaws. So they align much better. There are still one or two holes, but overall it's much better. The hole that really jumps to mind is actually how the alternate works. So in the bylaws, it's updated that if a person leaves the BOD, the election committee, which is again defined as the CEO and CFO, will go out and find a person as per whatever methodology. So the methodology would be they would go grab the alternate, because that's what the Kapora tells them to do. And then they would present to the board, and the board would approve the new member. It does not currently in our bylaws have the ability for the alternate to vote if somebody is missing for a day. That's currently in the Kapora, but not in our bylaws. It's just one of those things that was difficult to do legally. Uh, we could look into adding that. We just have to figure out the appropriate grammar that we could do there. That's
Believe
the biggest
phraseology
oversight
would
I
be
currently see. What?
absence or incapacitation or something.
No, not really. But
Okay.
again, these are published, and we can scrub them to see if there's something. But there really isn't anything like that. It's just like if the person isn't present, they're not present.
Cool.
And we still meet quorum. As long as we still meet quorum, it's fine. But I'm just pointing out is like that's the one deviation I was still seeing between the Kapora and the bylaws.
Okay.
Okay, but as I said, so for the board members who are not aware, if you go to the Wiki AmpGuard, so you just type in Wiki AmpGuard on Google, it'll pop up the main page of wiki.ampguard.com. If you type in Westmarch BOD, you'll see a lovely page called Westmarch BOD. This is where all of our BOD documents are stored that are publicly facing. We have a few internal ones, as I mentioned, like the land contracts, because they have, people's addresses and stuff like that. Those are kind of internal documents, but about 95 or 99% of our documents are publicly facing. They are all here. It lists, the corporation, our EIN, the address of the corporation that we officially have on file, information about us. Obviously, we will go and get the board members updated now that we've officially voted and assigned for them. As you can see, we keep the monarchy updated. There are a couple of documents that I would recommend for you here. Sorry, I'm getting massively sidetracked from the topic. There's a current BOD handbook. It has been in the process of updating. We meant to update it last year. We meant to update it the year before. We will eventually get around to updating it. This covers the general information that we, the BOD, need to execute on. The big one is tax filings. We'll get to that probably later in walkout information. But I do recommend BOD members at some point in the next month take some time, skim through this. As I said, a little bit dated, but still good information. To just kind of get an overall idea. I would also recommend looking through the rest of our BOD documents. We have our standard operating procedure for how to file our taxes, how we, can take in new payment requests, like if somebody goes out and spends some money and wants to get reimbursed, how to change our bank account, our safety statement, our EIN request form, all of this is on here. Yeah, so we have to make sure this is all updated. Oh, this reminds me, the AmpGuard Yearly International Agreement, we have to pay that soon. Okay, get to that later. So I do recommend looking through here. It's a lot of very useful links and information and documentation. And if you think that there's a document missing, feel free to let us know and we will get it updated. Perfect. But if you're looking for the board of director bylaws, they are also on that webpage.
Perfect.
Okay.
Definitely be going through that.
Yes. So that is the very long-winded explanation to the correction of the bylaws. Any other questions on bylaws for right now?
Nope.
No.
Perfect. Item D. Whoa. Seller's
Oh.
permit for the BOD. Both of these people are not here. So I have no update as the president. Does anybody have an update about the seller's permit for the kingdom?
Yes, waiting on spoons.
Perfect. We're waiting on spoons. So it is still in work then, I guess. We are punting it to February. Yeah, perfect. Uh, Moving on to item E, contract for selling space on the trailer. Walrus, do you need any assistance from the board of directors on how to set up the contracting or how to sell space on the trailer?
Right.
Sorry, I'm unfamiliar with what contracting is needed. I can do the like advertisements and for the whole process, but on the legal thing, I would need support.
Yeah. Just let us know when you need us, and we will make sure everything's in order. But
Oh, okay.
yep. But
All right.
obviously you have to set up and figure out how you want to sell stuff and everything. But and then what I would expect the BOD is we'll probably have to write like a little one-page like contract saying, we West March are selling you X square feet or whatever of space for this
Yeah.
dollar, and we recognize that it's for this duration or unlimited duration,
Mhm.
however that ends up working. But we will have to officially approve that document, and then because all of that
Okay.
will have to go be approved by the BOD when we sell stuff,
All
I
right.
believe.
I will
Point,
figure out the methods.
Yes, well,
Continue,
small
sorry.
small note. Please feel free to use me as the test dummy. I've been waiting to put Rogues of Avalon on that trailer for over a year now.
yeah. Well, I mean, the ZPP goes out and sees that trailer quite frequently, and they want to tag it. So
There are many people who want their hands on that trailer,
yeah.
and I
So
would like to
I've
sell
been
them.
fighting putting my that ZPP logo right there. Bam! I see it all the time.
exactly. So
Um, I'll figure out how to
yeah, just basically
chop
just
it
let
into
us know
bits.
what you want to do, and we can organize setting up that the little one pager contract thing.
All right, sounds good.
We'll just
I
have to
will
figure out
get
the
that
bells and
done
Figure
before
whistles.
next
that
meeting.
stuff out, Walrus, if you want.
Yep, I will get it done before next meeting.
I can
Perfect.
help you if you want.
I will bug you about it.
All right.
It's sounds like a good idea.
Perfect. Uh, Item F. Athena is also still not here. This was just the update about how to better document how to do fidelity sharing. You can set up an organizational giving. You can set up a giving account that you, your family, or a private organization can do, and you basically put money into it and then say send that money to this nonprofit. We just need to put together a little help page. Honestly, the Fidelity help page isn't terrible, but we just need to do something that we can send out a little bit better. And then obviously we should link that with the business donation pamphlet if people want to do it that way, although the businesses would have to set up we'll figure out what to do. We have to write up and figure this out.
Not bad.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions on that item?
Nope.
Perfect. Fog after action report. Leon, did you manage to finish up the rest of the one pagers?
I did not actually get around to doing that. I was a bit of a bunk over the holiday season. I apologize.
Okay. Yeah, you did deliver a partial report, which is helpful. So, we do know the information. We just need to get it on the forms. And again, for those people who are unaware, on the West March BOD page and the events section, there is like an event budgeting sheet, but there's also this post-event review form. You click on this, it takes you to our CAM card page where it is. And this is the kind of the one pager along with, it covers event name, location, total attendance, number of different types of participants, different cost breakdowns, and where stuff went, and then the final event evaluation, and then it gets finally signed off. So Leon presented this information to us in December. The Capora allows the autocrat 45 days. We are now, over 45 days, but we kind of said that the December presentation kind of technically meets the Capora requirement to present the information, but we do want to make sure we get this form filled out with all of the information and recorded in our records. Kind of on top of that form, there's one other standard typical-ish form. Where did that go? Which is this, a lawn event budgeting spreadsheet. It's a blank one, and it goes into a lot more of the details of receipts and financials and who did what and all of these things. So, and this is just like the detailed stuff, and we typically review this as well, just in the details, if the AutoCAD provides it. So those are the types of forms we're talking about here. But It sounds like we will allow Leon to go to February. Does anybody have any issue with extending that? This is technically extending the autocrat past the 45-day window.
No
For that time for him
objections here.
to submit that form. Sorry, what was that, Thomas?
No objections here.
Okay. Does anybody have any concerns? No. Okay, perfect. Now, item number 10, new business. Hello, new BOD members. You all ran for the BOD. If any of you had something you wanted the BOD to kind of aim or goals or things that we needed to do, let's write it down and start cracking. We've got a year. So, anybody got anything?
Is the goal of this meeting to take 2 hours, have fun, or to be done in half an hour and go, or somewhere in between?
So the answer is typically when I'm president, I run the meeting, as you can see, pretty straightforward. Well, obviously we can have fun. No, I'm not saying we can't, but I just go forward and do what we need to do. It is a business meeting. Milan, obviously, when he was the president, not to knock the previous president, but he is in the room, so therefore I can badmouth him. Milan would obviously take the meetings to be longer, but if you go look at our YouTube, we're typically sitting at about an hour or less for most meetings. Some meetings a little bit longer, but overall, that's just what it is. And really, it's just because it's a volunteer position. I don't want to drag everybody's Thursday out. But if there's stuff we need to talk about and stuff we need to do, we do need to do it. So
we did have a Talk Like a Pirate Day BOD meeting. I just want to point.
Yes, we did. That did happen.
I do have a question about how the alternate would work if one of the BOD members were to take up either Monarch or PM.
So in our bylaws, it specifically states that nobody may hold two positions, and it specifically states that the ex officios, the monarch and the prime minister, may not also be board members in another fashion. So the board would, that person would be removed from the board. We would immediately go into, there's a text section about vacancies. Where is it? But yeah, so basically board elections, the governance committee shall, which is defined as the CEO and CFO as earlier, the governance committee shall determine potential board members using a process outlined in their internal documents, the Capora. So if a vacancy is found, the governance committee, the monarch and the prime minister, use the Capora. In this case, it would tell them to go to the alternate. That alternate would be presented to the board as the new board member, and the board would vote. And really it's just we would approve them, is what it is. So that's the process for that, how that would happen.
Okay. I guess I did have a question on if that all would work like that, or if the alternate would step up on a per day basis. For example,
bylaws
to go for PM and then no longer be able to be secretary.
Correct.
End of my reign as PM, I would also be off the BOD, or could the alternate fill in while I'm PM and then I would be back as a regular member after my term as PM?
There's actually precedent.
I am going to give two answers to this. The first is the bylaws do not really say anything about the alternate. There is no alternate in our bylaws. There is in the Capora, but not in our bylaws. And the way our bylaws are linked to the Capora is through the election committee, or whatever the name was on there, the governance committee, and how they present people to the board of directors. The alternate is not ever listed anywhere in our bylaws. What it does specifically say, continuing on with point number one, is that the board shall be composed of these officers, which are listed as these 5 right here, in addition to the ex officio board members, monarch and prime minister. The ex officio board members may not hold additional board officer positions. No person may hold more than one position. So it's pretty clear if somebody was a board member and the prime minister, they may not be a board member because they are an ex officio. These ex officios may not hold board positions. So that's the first answer. The second answer is the precedent. The last 2 BODs, last year and the year before, both had a member become monarch in the summer reign. The monarch It runs from May to November. So there's the same thing of in December, that person who was a BOD would not be an ex officio or a board member. For both of those times, that person resigned from the BOD and took on the CEO position as monarch. So that's how the precedence has been set for the last 2 years.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I will mention this as I kind of briefly alluded to earlier. We do have to file our taxes. They are due. Our official fiscal year ended December 31st, so we need to publish our taxes, get our taxes. We've got a couple months, but we do need to get those in order. That is a treasurer and CFO responsibility to make sure that those are filed, and then it's our board's job to make sure that they do get filed. So if they're failing to do that, it's our job to beat them with padded sticks and make sure it gets done. Um, Also, the last several years, we have published our financials in February, and we try to get them on the February or May or February or March Alding. What this is this is a list of all of our expenses that we do every year. It's like the web page that we have to host our insurances costs, the AMP card payment. We get that on the Alding. We have the kingdom vote on it. And what that does is that gives us our operating expenses for the year. So that is the other thing that we, the board, should work on. And with ideally, I would say we should aim to have that ready for the May Alding, which makes it mid-February. Unfortunately, our treasurer is not here right now. But we're poking the CFO and saying, hey, don't forget we should do this. We do have some precedent on this for previous years. You can propose that, Thomas, if you want to. It's going to be hard to get that through the Alding. So,
No, that was Milan.
Oh, thank you, Milan.
He's changed his screen name here many times today.
You got to pay attention.
I forget what we call this. We called this our annual budget. And we have found this very helpful the last several years when we had things like, oh, the server certificate was about to come up and it's, $150 to renew it. Because we already had approved that in our annual budget and gotten that voted on by the kingdom, we did not have to go out to an Alding to try and get that done really quickly. We had already done it. So I would recommend doing that. Same thing, we'll have a couple of other items on there. One is the contract for the trailer. We spend a couple of bucks every year on that. The server, we have a AmpGuard International payment. So as our corporation, Kingdom of Westmarch, is contracted with AmpGuard International, we send them a $500 per year licensing fee that allows us to use the name AmpGuard and publish the rulebook. So we have to pay that every year, otherwise they get mad. I do. Walrus, do you remember if that's up in Q2 or is that a Q3 payment? I think it's a Q2 payment. I believe we owe that to them in February.
I think it's a Q2.
AI is March, right?
What? Yeah, I think it's like late February, early March is when we have to pay that.
Correct.
And $500 is, I believe, still within the monarch discretionary spending for how much money we currently have, but it would be better if it came out of the budget.
Can you say again when you wanted to have that budget to present to the all thing?
Aim for the May Alding.
Okay, thank you.
That will be a new.
You were saying February and March earlier, but aim for
the March. Yeah, March. You are 100%.
Okay.
I am mixing. Sorry, I came off of work and I have a bunch of stuff happening in May. My brain's still there.
You are correct that it is the May All Thing after February per the January All Thing results.
January, February, March, right? Am I still really?
So with January, we voted in for quarterly All Things, and in that was worded specifically to line up with elections, which is
we screwed
February,
ourselves.
May.
or April. Ah,
No,
Does
it is specified as
We have to
February,
approve the
May,
$500 AMP card
August.
international budget before then.
does the BOD have any authority to say that all thing vote is against what we need to be doing legally and therefore wind it back?
There's a resolution in there. The monarchy at any point in time can call an emergency all thing at any month.
So we can do that. That's one resolution pathway. The BOD and the Kapora has the duty to make sure that we comply with our legal obligations. So, we can force an out of season alding. I would argue through that by saying we need to do this in order to comply with contracts. This is one of the reasons I was not a fan of the quarterly alding.
So technically, I have not actually gotten the all thing out for discussion yet.
Yeah, but there's no way we're going to be able to pull the financials together in the next 3 days.
So we're gonna have to have an emergency all thing in like middle
You
of
can just
February,
put the
early March.
$500 AI on the regular all thing.
Yeah, but we have all of the other things in the budget that are going to be due before May. Some of them are, at least. I'm trying to remember where that budget is.
I think
let me
this
pause
year
my
we'll
screen.
have to. I think this year we'll probably have to do an emergency like budgeting all thing specifically for the financials, and then in the following year, based off of this new formatting, setting up a planning so that way our financials are in order by the time this February all thing rolls about, because it's the February all
So
thing will be the consistent one at the start of the year.
I do not see how that is feasible because the new board comes in January. And if they are required to have this ready 2 weeks before the alding, that means basically we have to bring the new board in the first week of January to give them a week to develop the budget.
Or the December BOD can put it together for the January all thing moving forward.
Yeah, that's the only other option is the outgoing BOD puts out the next year's budget.
Seems reasonable.
I mean, I will note that at least from what it sounds like, the outgoing board would have the most info on the budget at that time. So it would be a good thing for them to set that up at the very end of their year, and then the new board actually has a like budget layout that they can use at the end of their cycle to set up the next budget for the next year. That actually makes a lot of sense to me for it to be set up that way.
Might this be an argument for separating our BOD election calendar from our fiscal calendar?
So
starting our fiscal year in, I don't know, August or whatever, pick a month.
do I have the 2025? I'm trying to quickly find the 2025 budget. And I know I have the 2024. I'll share the 2024. So the 2024 budget that we went through, right, covered all of these items. And the reason I say I think it's a good idea for the incoming, like the new board to do this, is it gives them a very good understanding of what's happening in the kingdom. And it gives them a good understanding of what we need to do. But it also, because of the January meeting, it allows us to make sure that we're fulfilling all of our obligations legally. And if we had any other items that we, the board, wanted to do, say this year, for example, we went out and we wanted to like, hey, we want to buy a new facility or sponsor a thing. We, the board of directors, could put that in this budget. We wouldn't be beholden to the last outgoing board of directors. Now, I guess we could vote to try and get an override, but having to wait 5 months through the BOD's 12-month term is quite significant. Right. And so like things on here, for example, is like our hosting fee for the website.
That should be finalized in December. It should never be voted on in January when the year has already started.
Yeah. But like a lot of things on here are like things that, kind of change more frequently. Like we had allocated $200 for each mid-range to cover food.
Then that can be amended with the January or the May all thing.
Well, how would they get into the January all thing? The new board wouldn't be elected yet.
I
You
will
guys have
note
the
that
capability of doing one right now. The all thing hasn't gone out yet as per Cinderhill. But no, budgets should be done in December. They shouldn't be done in January.
um, as a note, the all thing is not tied to the like business quarters. It's tied to our elections, and so the schedule is completely based off of when we have our elections. So I think in most cases we're talking about the all thing the annual first all thing being in January, but in most cases it'll be in February, and then the following will be 3 months after that in our
Yeah, but
like
it's
like
the first
May.
February in the month, right? Or it's the first Saturday of first week of February.
I believe this year, but not. It could change next year. We could.
Now,
It's within a range. No.
so to clarify, now it's just released at the same time as the election, or
Mid
Okay.
reign and coronation.
so not necessarily on the first of the month? I did not completely read the amendment, or at least not recently enough.
Is it actually linked to mid-reign and coronation, or is it linked to 6 weeks before those events?
It's linked to the
6 weeks
election
before.
of the monarchy and prime minister.
Thank you.
Oh man. Shall be scheduled quarterly and held alongside the ballots for coronation and mid-reign, but may be canceled by the monarch. Also, the numbers listed here twice. The coronation is fixed. Those always happen the same time because of the way the coronation timeline is set up. The mid-reign is a little bit weirdly weird in it, but it's actually not as flexible as we have been doing it if you actually read the ruling on the mid-reign.
Mid-reign was recently definitively decided as February and August.
Yeah. This is really a monkey wrench. I'm gonna have to go back and rework out the timeline again of when everything is.
7.6.1.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Crown election, section 6, time of the crown. Every 6 months, at least 1 week prior to the crown elections. Crown quals, time of the crown is period. Okay. Okay. It'll be August. Is that August, April, February, October? So it's February, April, August, October. Because the crown elections are held in April and October. Yeah, that we held alongside the ballots for the coronation, which is technically the time of the crown. Okay. Well, I guess then we're aiming for the April one.
Or ask the monarch to call one sooner and then
Yeah.
shift something around for future going. Call an emergency all thing, and on the all thing petition, ask to switch back from quarterly to monthly.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to go more thoroughly evaluate this. I did not realize that that was the exact how how that was going to impact things like this. Um, yeah, we are going to definitely, I think, as an emergency measure, we have to put. Well, I'm going to leave this to you, Walrus. We need to pay the $500 Stamp Card International. You as the monarch, or the prime minister, I guess, could do this as well. I believe you're allowed up to 10%. I believe we have over $5,000 in the general account, which means that you could cover $500 out of your monthly discretionary, or you could put it on the all thing to recover that $500. I believe those are our options to solve this immediate need.
If he
I think
discretionaries it for this month, then in December this can all get fixed by rolling it over.
Well, there's a couple of options we could do for some of these items, but yeah, I'll have to go come up with a game plan. But yeah, basically, Walrus, I'm leaving it to you to figure out how you want to handle this immediate issue. If you want me to write the Alding, I can write an Alding proposal, but just let me know.
it affects the funds that we're able to like assign to things if I do the discretionary fund, correct?
Yes, you are limited to 10% per month. So if you use your
Okay.
10% on this, then that is 500 out of your X amount. I think we have like $8,700 or something like that in the general account. So
Yeah.
it's 500 out of your 870 for that month.
Okay. I think it's probably best to have either attempt to get it. I don't think we're going to be able to get it by the approaching all thing, but if I think a emergency all thing makes complete sense to run like in the following month or whenever we have it done.
Okay.
Because it's an important portion of the operational kingdom, I think.
Okay. I'll do that.
I was gonna suggest that the situation sounded like an emergency all thing.
Yeah, I was also thinking emergency all thing for the situation. For needing for the 500.
Gotcha. Okay, that was fun. Does anybody else have new business they would like the BOD to take on? I am not hearing anything. So now we get to have our most important item for next month, which is when do we want to have next month's BOD meeting?
Well,
Half of February, I'm not available Tuesdays. That's all.
Oh, hey,
Otherwise,
Athena, you made it.
I am here. I've been.
If
Sorry,
you
I've
don't
been.
pay attention, they popped in a while ago.
Sorry, they popped in underneath my Zoom chat.
Oh, I forget you're on a computer. It's different than my phone.
I would
Um,
nominate February 19th.
I was thinking 19th as well.
That sounds good.
Um, that sounds good, but then again, I don't know my plans on what day I'll be returning from Kona. So, but yes, as long as I'm not on an airplane.
Okay.
Okay.
19th is agreed for me.
I can't be there on the 19th. Sorry, guys.
Oh, hmm.
Well, first off, does Thursdays work for most people?
Yeah, I like
Actually,
Thursdays.
Yes.
Usually, yes.
Yeah,
Usually,
usually
yes.
Thursdays are
how
gonna
does
be great.
Wednesdays work? Because I realize I might actually have Thursday conflicts.
Ooh,
I'm good any day of the week.
I
yeah.
can make it work.
Realistically, I can do any day.
Yeah, I'm fine on Wednesdays also.
Wednesday is good for me as well.
I can make it work.
Could the 18th work? It looks like.
Yeah.
Be the same issue for Thomas.
Oof.
No, if I'm flying back, it'll be either the 19th or the 20th. So
Oh,
the
that makes sense.
18th works.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. It sounds
Any
like any
problem
other
time?
conflict?
Yeah. February 18th at 6:30. Does that work?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Let me just double quickly check.
So
It
4:30.
is Ash Wednesday, just to let people know,
Uh,
and the first night of Ramadan, if that is a problem for anybody.
nah.
Yeah. Okay.
Luckily, if I have any religious stuff happening that day, it is a non-conflict anyway.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Well, we will see everybody 18th of February at 6:30 that time. Athena, just to cover for you real quick at the end here, we re-elected you treasurer. Hope you don't mind.
It's fine by me. I'm looking forward to seeing more about budget stuff.
Yeah. And then we pushed the seller's permit and the fidelity charity information because you weren't here.
Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm
Oh, all
dying.
good. I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, no worries. Make sure that you take care of yourself.
I will be sending out the notes just a couple minutes after we're done here. If you guys wanted to proofread them, I might have missed some stuff. We're going fast a few places.
Apologies.
No, it's fine. Just proofread them.
Okay, with this, I will find my stop recording button and end the meeting.